Hey guys, it's Kayla. Welcome to 2021 and back to my channel. Today I'm going to be talking about work from home finance jobs. I got asked from a subscriber named Marcos to do a video about this topic, and I thought it'd be helpful for you guys. I know 2020 was quite a difficult year, especially for my subscribers that are currently still in college or it was their first year out on the job market. Remote jobs was definitely a hot topic that I was asked about during 2020 and also in 2021. More and more people want to have the option to work remotely. So the thing with most finance and accounting jobs, they are not traditionally spaces where work from home options are exactly encouraged or appreciated by the higher ups in companies. Finance and accounting jobs are very much traditional office type of jobs during this whole pandemic. During the initial couple months, most finance professionals were able to work from home. I know I have known some people who did not get to work at home at all during this. It was you're in the office no matter what. You're able to use PPE inside the office, and that's about the best that they were going to give you. At the time, I thought was pretty surprising because I would think lawyers for companies would be worried regarding the possible future negative experiences, like somebody catching COVID and then trying to sue the company later for not adequate policies being set in offices or having the opportunity to do their job from home, which most finance and accounting jobs, 99% of them, you would think should be able to be done at home. However, the people who are the bosses typically in these types of realms, they're in their late 40s, 50s, 60s, sometimes a little older than that, depending on, their situation. They're very set in their ways. They don't want flexibility. They have preconceived notions regarding working from home, and in a lot of these cases, they did not budge unless the whole state was closed down. And even then, I've heard friends of mine say that their particular boss thought this was a hoax and they were not allowed to work from home. It was pretty much you're coming into the office or you don't have a job anymore. But as far as working from home for finance, and I'll also throw in accounting, it's quite hard for people without experience to get that first remote job in finance or accounting, just because there aren't tons available unless the department as a whole is choosing to work from home because of COVID or anything else. There aren't a ton of work from home finance jobs. Whether we're talking about a financial analyst in a corporate finance setting, IB, any other high finance area, it's just very much in the office at 8 a.m. to whatever time you get out. And the people who are trying to get into finance now and want to get a work from home job, it is going to be extremely difficult. If you don't have work experience or internship experience, you don't have a resume that really conveys that you have a grasp on whatever job that you're applying to, it's going to be next to impossible to start a career in finance remotely without previous experience. For the people that do have experience, and I'm talking at least a year, the more experience you have, the better opportunity that you do have to get a work from home finance job. Most of the current job listings for work from home finance jobs, they want you to have a considerable amount of experience. So for the people who are dead set on getting a remote job, working from home, you have a finance degree or you're majoring in finance, I'm going to tell you that you should probably look elsewhere other than traditional finance kind of keywords when looking for these remote jobs, and you need to keep an open mind. The number one job or area that I would tell you if you don't have experience and you need a job, I would tell you to look into digital marketing. I myself worked in finance. I have a finance degree, but I do work in digital marketing now. I think most finance majors should be able to handle everything that digital marketing entails. And digital marketing professionals who go out and get a job within a company, they can make just as much money as a financial analyst in a company. And because that particular area right now is just so flooded with applicants, go ahead and learn a new skill and give yourself more opportunity to get a good job. And you're probably wondering, well, Kayla, how am I going to learn digital marketing? I went to school for finance. I personally am a huge fan of the Digital Marketing Blueprint course by Seth Himes. I have a link down below if you want to go check it out and see what it's about. I also have an interview with Seth on this channel. I'll link it up here and you can go check that out too. Why I like that course is because, Seth, he is a no BS kind of guy. He teaches you what you need to know to be successful either on your own or within a company. He gets straight to the point, and honestly, this is a course where 30 days, I would say between 1 and 3 months, you can go and get entry-level digital marketing job by taking this course. I don't want anybody who is currently having a hard time getting hired in finance to think that that is their only possibility in life. You can go and try other things and see if you like it. Don't think you have to stay in one particular box. You can go outside of your box. Other two jobs that I would tell you finance majors to look into as far as remote and work from home opportunities are account executive jobs and sales jobs as a whole. Account executives, they typically work for a company and are doing B2B sales. Companies will usually take applicants from a lot of different backgrounds. You don't have to have a marketing background for account executives or sales. These account executive roles, they're very much like business development and business relationship type of roles. You'll be doing things like making marketing slide decks, making sure that the customer is happy with what your company is providing to them, creating strategic plans, tracking sales and revenue achievements. I know my introverted people are probably thinking, hey, no, I don't want to do anything that involves sales. So you guys would probably be more suited to digital marketing. But I would tell you, don't completely discard the account executive type of role, because it very much is you're just talking to people over the phone or via email. So it's not as much of a high pressure type of thing versus, knocking on somebody's door or seeing them face to face. A lot of you might be surprised, but people who are account executives and salespeople often can make a good amount of money if you're good at your job. If you get hired for a remote job for finance, you might want to be prepared and ask questions beforehand for interviewing. And if you're somebody who is pretty dead set on wanting to work remotely for the rest of their lives, or for as long as that they have this job, you're going to want to ask the interviewer whether or not that this is a permanent remote role. There's a lot of companies that are currently hiring people on basis where the job is currently remote, but in the future it could go back into a traditional office role. I hate to be the bearer of bad news to my subscribers that don't have experience. It's going to be very hard to get that remote job in finance with little to no experience. Your resume is basically telling your whole story, and when the hiring manager or whoever is looking at your resume sees that you don't have a ton of experience, they don't think that you are going to be able to handle your first finance job working from home. They're going to choose the person that has more experience than you do in most cases, unless you have a very strong network and are able to make your case somewhere. And that's why networking is so important. More than ever at this point, finance is definitely the most competitive that it probably has ever been. So if you're somebody that's not afraid to be open-minded and look into other areas, gaining skills in other areas, whether that be digital marketing, coding, other areas where there is a need for more people versus a competitive landscape like finance, then I encourage you to go and develop those other skills. After things get back to normal, as far as everything COVID related, whether or not things will ever get there, who knows? I'm not a mind reader or fortune teller. I think for the most part, 90%, probably more, of finance jobs are going to be back in the office because that's what the higher ups want. Do I think that's a good or a bad thing? I don't really have an opinion because that's not my company. That's, I understand how analysts or whatever your position title is, I understand feeling a certain type of way. But if you want to make a change, then you need to find a career that prioritizes working from home or giving their employees options. If you don't really follow finance news, then you should know that big companies like Goldman Sachs, Blackstone, JP Morgan, they're building and moving to South Florida, like Fort Lauderdale area, opening more offices there. So they're definitely not thinking we're gonna work remote forever. They're thinking we need to get people back into offices, and we need to get into places that encourage working in person, which obviously that place is Florida. We're open, things are pretty much normal here. Those companies I mentioned, them having long histories in New York City, I don't see them ever fully leaving New York City, obviously, but themselves giving themselves more options to having in-person capabilities, and that's why they're putting this money and energy into opening extra offices. It's also probably a tax advantage for them to do this too. People want to go back to what they know, and for people that are older than, I don't know, I'll say like 35 plus, they want to go back to what they've known of meeting people in person, selling to people in person, building relationships in person, watching over people in person, seeing each of their employees in the office doing what they're supposed to be doing. I've had people ask me, do I think that COVID will create a lasting effect on the working in finance landscape? I'll call it that. I think overall, no. I think it's pretty much gonna go back to normal. And because of everything that I just mentioned, I highly encourage you all to look out for your best interests. But mine in one, look for side hustles, learn to invest your own money. Those are all really important things that I think all of you guys should keep on your mind. Don't completely rely on these companies. Use them for cash flow, use them to work on yourself in whatever area that you want to. But most companies, 99.9% of them, do not care about you as an employee. So you need to constantly make sure that your skills are up to par and that you are desirable to many different companies. You need to have advanced level Excel skills. I want to make a video about this, but more and more companies are expecting traditional corporate financial analysts to have more of a data analyst skill set. Sometimes you need to look outside the general scope of where you thought you initially were going to be. So that's why I highly encourage you to look into other skills that are highly in demand, and don't think, well, I went to school for finance or I went to school for accounting. Now I need to work in only that field. Go to where you have a lot of opportunity. If you think you can learn coding, if you think you can learn digital marketing, which you should be able to do in most cases, go to where the opportunity is and don't limit your mindset to where I went to school for this, now I can only do that. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, be sure to give it a like and go ahead and share it wherever you think you should share it. If you have any comments or questions, be sure to leave them down below. I'll get back to you. And if you haven't already subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button. And until next time, I'll see you around in another video. Bye.